Our next guest on Streamathon for Pets is Kristen Morrison. She is an author. She is a pet business coach and a podcaster. We are so pleased to have you here, Kristen. Thank you so much for joining us and for supporting Streamathon for Pets.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's dive right in. So a lot of what we are doing today is raising money and awareness for small and independent pet businesses. And that's exactly who you work to uplift on an everyday basis. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you help uplift businesses regularly.
Well, first of all, I just want to say how much I appreciate what you're doing, Ethan. I think it's so needed right now. I am hearing from a lot of pet business owners that are really struggling. You know, their businesses have slowed down or even shut down. So I just want to commend you for jumping on this very quickly and helping pet business owners out there. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So what I do is I am an author. I've written 5 books for pet business owners, dog trainers, groomers, pet sitters, dog walkers, service-based pet business professionals. And I do coaching and monthly webinars. And, you know, I really like to blend life coaching with business coaching because I feel like we can't really run our businesses without having it impact our personal life in some way and vice versa. So when I'm working with people, I'm really working with them both in their life and their business. And before the pandemic happened, a lot of pet business owners were really struggling with burnout. So that was a very prevalent theme that I was working on with a lot of pet business owners. That has shifted to, you know, some financial fear. And so I am really working with pet business owners now on self-care during this time because it can be really jarring to go from working really hard, many hours a day, to just it basically stopping. That can affect mental and emotional well-being, but also action steps you can take now to begin to either prepare for when your business begins to run again or to begin to get business flowing again. So that's really what I've been working with lately with pet business owners.
Well, fantastic. I mean, it's very needed right now. I think a lot of the small and independent pet businesses are looking for resources, not just financially, but also for support in transitioning. Because right now, everything has transitioned, you know, into a virtual space, much like with the Streamathon for Pets, you know, and other virtual fundraisers. So a lot of businesses are now trying to reach pet parents and retailers, and you know, not only on the having pet side, but also running a pet business. So everybody's turning to the virtual world, and I'm sure there's a lot of consulting on your end about this is the best way to do that, or here are some tips on how to transition.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm working with a lot of dog trainers who are actually training their human clients on how to train dogs. And so that's been a real strange and wonderful occurrence for a lot of dog trainers who are used to working in person with animals.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. I could use some of that myself. I think I've got 2 rescue pets at home, 2 dogs and a cat, and one of my dogs could use some training. So I may have to check out some of that virtual training. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in this. The business right now is 6-Figure Pet Business Academy. Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit about your mission, how you got started, and what your background is, Kristen.
So I started my own pet sitting and dog walking business in 1995, and it happened kind of spontaneously. I met a woman who was walking dogs professionally, and within just a minute of talking to her, she asked if I wanted to work for her, and I said yes. It felt like a dream profession for me to be able to combine my love of dogs with exercise, and getting paid for it was just amazing. And so I had a pet sitting and dog walking business for 18 years, and I sold it a few years ago. And I started coaching pet business owners in the year 2000. It's amazing to think that was 20 years ago. But so I've been coaching pet business owners for a long time, and I wrote my first book in 2010. So that was 10 years ago. And, like I said earlier, I really like to blend the life with the business, because I feel like we can't have one without the other. And a lot of times when people are running a business, their personal life suffers. And so how can we create a really balanced life while having a very profitable, successful business? And, it's a dance, because what happens is, for a lot of people when they start to get very successful, is their personal life suffers. So I really work with a lot of pet business owners around creating work-life balance, and for people that are just starting out that don't know how to create a business. They've never taken business classes before. So I hold their hand through the process of start to finish of actually creating a successful business.
That's amazing. Certainly a very valuable resource. And it really is unbelievable how fast 10 years goes by, isn't it?
Yes.
So what would you say right now for these struggling businesses? Maybe somebody had just launched their business recently, maybe last year was their first year in business.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we get hit with this pandemic that nobody really saw coming. And it's amazing how much it's impacted just every industry. There's not an industry across the spectrum that has not been hit by this. But the pet industry specifically has such a diverse group of companies. You've got your small and independent businesses that really are the livelihood of the pet industry, all the way up to your large companies that are international brands. I don't think there's a business that has not been impacted from small all the way to global.
You're right. Yeah, it's been profound, the impact that it's had on businesses in general, but especially pet businesses. So there are a number of things that pet business owners can do right now to begin to both get ready for when business begins to open again, as well as to begin to get movement happening. So the first thing that I recommend is, if pet business owners don't have administration software, that they get it for their business. A lot of people put that off because it's time consuming to actually enter all the data, to get used to the features. So that's something that I recommend, as well as if you already have administration software, to really get fluent in the features that your software has. The other thing that you can do is you can begin to connect with your clients, both on social media as well as through an email newsletter. Just keep them abreast of what's happening for you, when you anticipate opening again. If you don't know, be transparent about that. It can be a great way to also ask for reviews. This is a great time to actually create the foundation that's solid, so that you can then jump off when business starts to open up again. So asking for reviews on Yelp, Facebook, Nextdoor. Don't ask the same client for reviews across the board. Get really specific with them and ask for, Mrs. Jones, would you be willing to write a review on Facebook? Here's the link. Make it really simple for people to do that. It's also a great time to organize your office and your computer files. That's something that a lot of people don't want to do or don't have time to do when they're very busy. So if you're not busy now, it's a great time to do it. You can also create a local pet business owner group on Facebook, or a pet owner group on Facebook. That can be a great way to expand your reach, to both connect with local pet business owners as well as to connect with pet owners who may not know about you. And you can provide tips and resources during this time. So those are some steps that you can take.
Kristen's tips for success. We're on with Kristen Morrison from the Six Figure Pet Business Academy. Certainly, this fundraiser is for direct financial relief for some of these businesses that are really struggling, the small pet businesses, the independent pet businesses, the rescue organizations. These are the folks who Kristen works with on a daily basis. And Kristen, tell us, how can people get in touch with you if they maybe liked something that you've heard or suggested, or would like to tap into that wealth of knowledge that you certainly have.
Thank you. So they can go to my website, Six Figure Pet Business Academy. They can also go to my podcast, which is called Prosperous Pet Business. I do have a Facebook group that's also called that, Prosperous Pet Business. And I am on Instagram at Pet Biz Coach.
Wonderful. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us today. I hope that this is an opportunity for your business to thrive. And I appreciate those words. I'm certain I speak for the businesses that are participating. Certainly something that you said is valuable to them and beneficial, but they have your information now. They can reach out, and we always appreciate getting insight from experts in the industry. We love that we have your support for this endeavor, and I wish you the best. Anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers, or?
Yeah, I do want to say it can be stressful to have a slowdown like this for everyone. A lot of financial insecurity may come up, but if we're lucky, this will never happen again in our lifetime. And this is a rare opportunity to actually slow down. And, we may even a couple of years from now think of this time with fondness in a strange way, because we're really being forced to slow down, which is something that has never happened to us across the world. So we're all in it together. And even if we're feeling alone, we can support each other just by being there, and I'm on social media if anybody wants to reach out and if they're struggling.
Well, I could not have said that better myself. I've even had conversations recently with friends that even though we're socially distant from our neighbors and our, coworkers and our support network, certainly it's bringing families closer together.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in the same household, people are relying on those networks right now, and I think it's strengthening those bonds. So there is a positive to all of this, and I love that you highlighted that. I'm always a glass half full type of perspective. It sounds like you are as well. Really great to have you on. Again, this is Kristen Morrison. If you are not familiar, it's Six Figure Pet Business Academy. And definitely check out the website, sixfigurepetbusinessacademy.com. Kristen's an author, has a podcast as well, a very large following, and as also a lot of knowledge. So I really hope that our pet businesses out there will reach out and tap into that resource. Thank you so much, Kristen, for joining us, and I really, again, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ethan.